Hi, my name is David Lewis, and today I'd like to talk to you about some of the basics of APA style. So, a lot of students are confused about APA style because they've never really used it before. It isn't really used in any kind of, non-college setting typically. So, if this is your first time hearing about it, that's pretty normal. So, APA style is the most commonly used style when it comes to the social sciences and just many sciences in general. But today we're going to be focusing on psychology. So this is the official source. If you want to write an APA style, you're probably going to want to go ahead and pick up this APA publication manual. You can find it at pretty much any bookstore or library. Alright, but let's just talk about some of the basic stuff you'll see in here. So the first thing I should mention are just some of those basics of text formatting. The general rule of thumb is that you want to make your text easy to read. So your text should be typed, double-spaced, on a regular piece of paper. That's just what most printers do, with a 1-inch margin on all sides. Should use a clear font that's easy to read, like 12-point fonts in either Times New Roman or Arial. You can use other fonts, but just make sure that it is very, simple and clear to read. So your paper is going to be broken down into 4 separate sections. These 4 sections include the following. So the first section would be your title page. The second section is the abstract, and then you have the main body of the text body, and then the last section would be the reference page. So make sure you include all 4 of these in your APA formatted papers. But why don't we take a look at each one of these and talk about them in a little bit more detail. So here is an APA style paper written by one of my students a few semesters back. What we're looking at right here is the title page. Now at the very center, both centered horizontally and vertically, you'll see the title of the paper and the author's name and the institution. So this was written by John Doe from Antelope Valley College. So it's important that you include all 3 of those right in the middle. Now, you don't really need to put much else here, like the date that you wrote the paper. That's not all that important, but you can include it if you'd like. But don't include anything else. Now, if you look up there at the top, you'll see something called a running head. That is a requirement of APA style, but I don't really make a big deal out of it. It's not all that important in my opinion. But if you want to use, full APA style, you need to make sure you include a running head, which is up there in the header space. It's the same way you do page numbers in Microsoft Word. You just want to go up there and type in the word running head and then a shorter version of your paper's title. But like I said, I don't really think it's all that important, so let's just move on. So why don't we scroll down and take a look at page 2. So on page 2 of the paper, that's where the abstract goes. And you can see it's titled, the title abstract is centered at the top of this page. That's important. Make sure you always have those titles at the top and centered. Now, an abstract, all an abstract really is a summary of the full paper. I recommend waiting until you finish writing the full body of text before you try to write your abstract, because obviously it's hard to summarize something that you haven't written yet. So let's scroll down and look at page 3, which is where our main body starts. Here's the main body of text, or the main text, or whatever you want to call it. But at the top of this section, which should start on page 3, you see the title of the paper. Just make sure it's centered like all the other section titles. And what comes after that is just the text, all that stuff you've been reading about and you're writing about now. When it comes to APA style, one of the most important things to include in this section are APA style citations. You can see a few examples of APA-style citations over here on the left. So here's just a couple that I've highlighted. So I'll go into more detail about how to format these citations in the next video. But these are some pretty good examples. This is what it's going to look like if you write in APA style. But like I said, we're not going to go into detail about it right now. We'll come back to it later. Let's scroll down to the last section, the reference section. So now we're on the reference page, and you can see at the top there's the title, the word references in the center. Now this reference page does look pretty good. It's a pretty good example of what a APA style reference page should look like, but there are a few problems here. I'm not going to go into detail about those problems because I'm going to do a whole video on how to format reference pages. So just check back in a future video and we'll learn all about the numerous little rules that exist for how to format your reference page. Alright, so that's it for now. I just wanted to talk about the basic structure, which includes those 4 parts, you know, the title page, the abstract, the main text, and the reference page. So I guess I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.